Well, for the most part, this is done. I'm still waiting on the correct elbow, and you can see that that would not work.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trying to hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, and really appreciate it if you can help me out. Today we're going to look at making an intake. All right, one of the things I was doing when I was trying to figure out if I wanted to make an intake or buy an intake, I was looking around and they were all about $300, mid $200, $300, and this is getting pretty late in my build, and I wanted to not spend so much, so I ended up making my own, and this is how I did it.
Fit the hood up on there and bolted it down, lined it up. I put a piece of tape across this. I know this is actually bigger and not aligned, but I wanted to see if it would actually pick up on the hood. So let's put it there, and we'll drop the hood down. Make sure it's latched. Hopefully the carbon fiber hood that I have will work on here as well and won't have to do any cutting. But we'll pull that up. We'll pull this up slowly, so not to blow it off if it's not on there. And it's still there, so I don't believe it's touching. I believe it's right on the recess. You see the hood goes right up there. I believe that's right where it is, which would be a perfect fit.
I thought about going speed density, but I had everything I needed, and well, I mean, it came out of a running car, so I figured, let's see if that works. So I stayed with the mass airflow. The only issue that I had was the opening on the throttle body was like 4 inches, but the mounting of, I guess, the backside of the mass airflow was like 3.5. So I had to get that 90, you'll see I got a 90-degree elbow of a 4 to 3.5 step down or something like that. I also picked up some vibrant aluminum tubing, went down to Summit and picked that up. You'll see I cut that, put in there for the intake air temperature sensor, and then got some flat stock from Home Depot, bent it up, made a bracket, and I think it came out pretty good. I am using a little bit cheap filter, and I'm gonna get a better one of those here in a little bit, but let's check it out.
For the intake air temperature sensor, I went up to O'Reilly's, picked up this random pack of grommets, and I found one that I put on here, and it kind of snapped in, and it kind of sealed. I mean, it doesn't have to actually be protruding because it's only taking the air temperature, not the actual, like the mass airflow. And then I measured this inner piece right here, and it measured at a 0.77. So I am going to try to get a 3/4 hole bit and drill the aluminum in the 3/4 and then get this pushed in and see how that works. And I went ahead and bought a 3/4 inch hole cutter with a drill bit, and I have a spot, I think right here, which will be on the bottom side because this will be facing this way and in, so I want the sensor to be on this side, and I'm gonna get that drilled out and then get my my grommet fit in there. So I got the hole drilled out. Went ahead and got some sandpaper, some fine sandpaper, and cleaned up the edges so it wasn't quite as sharp. And now I'm gonna get the sensor, or the grommet, see how that fits in there. Let's put this grommet that I got now that's a perfect fit for that. Now let's get the sensor. And there we go. That looks good. Oh yeah, snapped right in there. Take a look at that. That's nice. Let's see if you can see it down in there. Looks good. Yeah, it looks good. I just got my 4 to 3.5 elbow. I mean, look how dirty this thing is. It's brand new. It's from FR Sport. I'm a little disappointed that it came this dirty, but I'll see if I can get it cleaned up. And as well, the USPS said it would be delivered yesterday before 8 o'clock, and it is now 4:30 the day after. So good job, USPS. One thing about this though is you could see it is just touching here, but we have a lot of extra here, so I'm gonna have to trim this, get it shortened down to be able to go in, but not too much. So we'll probably take, you know, 1.5 inches off, something like that, just to get it off here, and then we can work on making the rest of the intake, or connecting it and see how much I got to cut off for the intake. Well, instead of cutting more, I cut less because I could always cut more later. Just took this probably, you know, 1/2 inch off. Let's see how it fits up on here. Now, actually has a little bit of space. That's, you know, that might be enough. This might be enough because I'll probably have the, I'm gonna have the other thing on there, the tube on there, and have it pulled in just a little bit, and that could be good. So doing some measuring, I'll give just a little bit of space over here, and I'm coming up with about 21.5, but if I go 1/2 inch in, that'll allow it to sit inside here so the band could go down. So I'm looking at 21.5 inches from the filter edge to the tube edge. So I slapped it down on here, got it right, well, I had it lined up right there with the thing. Go over here, went to 21.5, and then I flipped it over while holding it on, and so that's 7.5 inches that I have to cut off. This is an 18 inch. They didn't have any 12 inch. I wanted 12 inch, but I thought just in case, you know, just in case I need a little bit more. So that's that. So this is on, this is all good with this connection here. So I only have to take 7.5 inches off of that. So I'm gonna take 7.5 inches, put some tape, mark it all the way around, and then, I mean, I don't have any other way of cutting it right now except the angle grinder, so that's what I'm gonna do. I marked it 7.5 inches. As you can see, I scored some of the aluminum with a screwdriver just to give me, you know, my base line. Wrapped some tape up in here. I wrapped it on the right side. This is the good side. So I'm gonna be cutting right on the left side of the tape. And then I'll get some sandpaper, kind of take off the sharp edges, and then see how it fits on the car. But I got it fit up on here. It's test fitted. I mean, all this stuff is tightened down. It just misses this. It misses this. So probably needs a little bracket. It's being held up by the old 4-inch thing because I don't have another one right now. I need to make a bracket, in other words. And it is missing the pulley as well. Good finger underneath there. So that is, well, it's a pretty tight fit, but it fits. Also, as well as I left a little space for it to come here. This is how it looks complete. So like I said, I got some just some regular stock from Home Depot, and I ended up putting it in a vise and twisting it. That way it could be, you know, be flat on this side, twist and then turn, and then flat here. And it goes all the way and it hits both sides just barely. And I just have it wedged in between these. Then I tighten these down at the angle that I wanted. And then I painted it, scuffed it up, painted it black, and cut it right in line with the core support and drill the hole in. That's what I use. So that is, you know, the final product. And I think it looks really good. I think it looks good. After driving for a while, it still misses here, and it's a very tight. Misses here, misses down here, doesn't hit here, doesn't hit the pulley at all, and it works very well. And that is how I made my intake.